Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode. So we are still within the first floor of the Infinite Burrows dungeon. We just got done with our combat against the Kobold Inventor and the evil mapmaker, which we kind of handled pretty handily. We took them out. Aside from Summer getting dropped down to 4 HP, they got a fat sack of loot. They had 300 gold with them. They had 3 magic items that we were able to loot, so they're doing pretty good. There's a couple things I need to address. So again, the night before we had these 2 Sturges, right, Moss and Keto. They joined our party due to their nature. They are unaligned in the monster manual, but on my little chart for what a monster does when we have an encounter, they were extremely friendly. And then Golly had passed the animal handling check, and that we kind of determined, like, okay, well, they're going to follow us and join our party. Now, something I want to address was in the battle, we had a couple things. So they just kind of, we sent them here towards this kobold to go do some damage. I guess this was after Summer slaughtered him, so there was nobody else to attack. But in reality, going forward, we were kind of saying, like, oh, it was like Golly said they can go, but these Sturges aren't under like a spell or anything like that. They just been like convinced to join the party, so they got to have a little bit of autonomy for themselves. Just looking at like, so Golly would have done an influence action is what this rule is. And that's kind of where you come on down to these influence checks, right? So Golly would have done the wisdom, where you gently coax a beast or monstrosity into doing, whatever you needed to do. There is the persuasion check, right? But the monster needs to understand you. So we don't have like a speak to animals spell. So I was just trying to think about that. It's like we can't really be commanding these Sturges to do specific things, right? All Golly can kind of pull off is just trying to get them to follow him every time to do things, right? So we got to play it like that a little bit, so they can think for themselves and do their own thing. The only thing is they're going to be friendly to us because that's the check we kind of passed. And I'm thinking maybe we put a rule in where every 24 hours you got to re-up that check, that animal handling, to see if they're going to follow you and stay friendly, be a part of the party. So that being said, while we have them within our party, we had defeated the bandit and everything, and we were playing with the idea of taking him out of this dungeon while we're still here and fresh. That way Summer can get a bit of a rest, and we can take them to the town, to the mayor in Barnmouth, and say, hey, this guy tried to jump us and everything like that. But I kind of want to take advantage of these guys while they're following us and stuff like that within this dungeon, seeing as how we passed the successful animal handling check before, because we'll have to do another one in 24 hours for the next day of the party, and they might decide, like, hey, we don't want to follow you anymore, because they have their own free will, right? They're not under a spell. So I kind of want to take advantage of them while they're here and explore more of this dungeon, so we have a party of 4 instead of just a party of 2. But that being said, we need to get Summer up to snuff. She needs to we have a couple options here. Golly can heal her with a spell, burn up a spell, but we might need that spell later on, right? We've determined that the Infinite Burrows first level of the dungeon is 10 rooms, so we cleared the first one. We still have 9 more rooms to go, and we might need those spells and spell slots later on. Summer's burned up one of her Fire's Burn attacks, damage attack, and she's burned up a rage. So we could take a short rest. We have an option, right? It was like we take him to the camp, back to the camp here in but it's 5 miles away. So we started the morning here, we traveled here 5 miles, and then we had a little bit of we had our ambush in the room. If we take those guys the next 5 miles back, that's kind of like half a day burned already, because you can only travel 24 miles in a day. So we wouldn't be able to come back to the dungeon again. Like, you know, go there, drop them off and come back. Like, leave them with the gnomes. Because then that's burning through a lot of our day. We would have to, like, spend our night in the dungeon. So I'm thinking we maybe take some of our rope. Like, I believe we've got some rope in our but yeah, we got one rope here. And we tie up the bandit. We declared after we defeated him that, you know, we just kind of took him. We didn't kill him outright, but he's pretty severely wounded, maybe. And we tie him up and we leave him here. Maybe that's, you know, a bad thing to do. He might die from like a wandering monster check, but I just want to utilize these sturges in the dungeon, just kind of metagaming a little bit. So we're going to do that. I think we're going to do a rope, tie him up with a rope, leave him here by the outside the door. What we can do is take him out of the dungeon and leave him outside the door so that he's not subject to a wandering monster check, which is a 1 in 6 check, and then he can just get maybe 1 check for a wilderness encounter. And if he does get caught from a wilderness encounter check, then he's, you know, we'll find out what happens to him there. So let's figure out the rope action here. Okay, so that being said, the rules for the rope says as a utilize action, you can tie a knot with a rope. If you succeed on a DC 10 dexterity sleight of hand check, the rope can be burst with a successful DC 20 check. Or, right down here, you can bind an unwilling creature with the rope only if the creature has the grappled, incapacitated, or restrained condition. So we knocked him down to like 0 or 1 hit points. He'd be unconscious. He'd be incapacitated. If the creature's legs are bound, the creature has a restrained condition until it escapes. Escaping the rope requires the creature to make a successful DC 15 dexterity check as an action. So he will get a chance to escape, and this may come back to bite us in the future, but that's what we're going to do. We're going to bind the creature. And I don't believe we would have that be the tying the knot with the rope. Do we have to use the utilize action to tie him up and then he gets a shot? Because then he'd get kind of 2 chances, right? Do we get to tie this guy up? Or is that like a separate thing? Right? Does he get 2 chances? Do we get a success to tie the knot and then he gets a chance to break it later? Or is it just we get to bind him? I think we just succeed on binding the creature. You guys let me know in the comments how you interpret that rule. I interpret it as if I'm using the rope for anything outside of, you know, that binding the creature, I have to use that DC 10 dexterity sleight of hand check to tie the knot for something else, right? We'll go from there. I don't know, maybe we just say this is for the knot tie, right? Okay, well, yeah, we don't have to worry about that then. And Summer's tying the knot, so she gets the sleight of hand check, the 2. It's a 21. She ties a pretty solid knot then. Okay, we just tied him up. Now, what I want to do is I want to finish exploring this dungeon. I want to map it out. I don't like that we're leaving it at just 1 room and then we're going to leave right away. Yes, we got a good haul, but we need to keep exploring. Now, Summer, we need to take a short break with Summer. She needs a short rest. She needs to burn up some hit die. I don't want to take the short rest in this room. The short rest says it's an hour. You'll burn up the hour, but we have a rule in our dungeon where every 30 minutes we make a 1d6 check to see if there's a wandering monster. And if we're doing a 1 hour short rest in here, that's 2 rolls for a monster to come and check in here, potentially get us while we're short resting. Whereas I would rather leave the dungeon just outside the door and just be subject to one encounter check for just being on a plains, or this would be a depression check. But I don't think I have a chart for that. This is my little chart here, and I don't have one for the depression, but it would be a plains then. So we would just be subject to the wilderness, a 1 in 10. One in 10 roll as opposed to 2 1 in 6 rolls is what I'm thinking. So we're going to haul this guy out of the... We're going to move him out of the dungeon, just outside the door. We're going to take our short rest. We're going to burn the hour. I guess Golly's going to turn the lamp off for a little bit there. And let's do our D10 check. So on a 9, we have nothing, no encounter out there. And Summer is able to expend some hit die now during this short rest. Now she needs 10 hit points, but she's only a level 1, I guess. We're all level 1, so we only get the 1 hit die so far, and it's going to be a D12. So let's see what kind of health she gains here while on the short rest. Ooh, perfect. Look at that. 11. So, yeah, that gave her more than enough. We burned up our hit die, so no more short rest. Nobody else needed it. We're all fully healed up, full spell slots. And Summer's back up to full health. Perfect. Look at that. It's like we're starting fresh again. I'm going to erase this. Summer, you are back up to full health. That worked out perfect. Now, in that short time, he was at 0 hit points or 1 or whatever. That would deem him like unconscious. I guess in that short rest, he might have gained... I think there's a rule in there saying you gain like a hit point every hour. So maybe he's kind of back with it. And he might be cussing us out here. He's tied up and he's swearing at us. I guess we could like determine, do we knock him unconscious again to gain another hour? Is that evil? Golly wouldn't do such a thing, but maybe Summer goes and bonks him on the head one more time so that we gain an extra hour of him just being, unconscious. She is the you don't see my roll there, but I rolled a 17. That would be to hit with an unarmed strike, of course. And she's just we're gonna declare it just knocks him unconscious again, so he needs another hour to rest up and gain a hit point. But now we gained an hour so that he won't get to do his stealth or his dexterity check to try and free himself from the rope. And the party's all gonna go right back into the dungeon. Now we've established this room. We've gotten rid of the big bad evil guy that was waiting in here on the first roll. What I will do is do a wandering monster check just to see. On a 5, there's nothing. So we come back into the room, there's still nothing. Now we can get into adventuring. We can flush out the rest of this dungeon. Heck yeah, let's see what we can get. So I'm going to move all my tokens to the side while we kind of get to mapping. Now in here, when we had initially rolled, we had come up with 2 doors and an entrance. So we need to find out what these doors are. Or I guess Golly's got his lamp back on. So we have 15 feet of bright light and then an additional, I think it's 15 feet of dim light, but that's going to light up the room. We're going to move over and let's check out what these doors are, I guess. So I'm going to go to the Solo Dungeon Master's Guide on my little tablet here, and we're going to start fleshing out these rooms. So okay, so I'm on the door table because we know we have a door, and an entrance. The first door, let's roll on a D100. See what this door is about. Ooh, fell right off there. So we got a 80. I'm going to roll down here. And on an 80, it's a trapped door. So a DC 15 perception to find the trap. If trapped, disarmed, avoided, triggered, roll D4 to determine what's on the other side. Now, we do have the map, right? And that map gives us, let's have a look at the rules for the map again. Let's see here. For the map, if you consult an accurate map, you gain a +5 bonus to wisdom survival checks you make to find your way in the place represented on it. So the first 4 rooms are, but this says it's a perception check. Should we fudge our rules a little bit and say we get a +5 because we bought the map and they say, you know, it's the first 6 rooms are mapped out for us, so that's where we get that bonus. Does that apply to traps, or does that just mean we know there's traps there? Let's do perception checks, I guess. Let's see, you never know, right? So we're declaring it's this door to the left. We're going to do Summer. Does Summer see anything? She's got a perception of +3. On a 4, no, she does not notice anything. And now Golly's also got a, or was I looking at persuasion there? I know, perception, okay, yeah. And he's also got a perception of 3. So does Golly notice anything? And on a 6, he does not. So I believe they try the door. That's what these rolls were for. So we're going to find out what this trap is. So I'm just going to write here trap, and we're going to see what it is that happens to us. So we're going to remember this. Let's just roll on this passage first to find out what is on the other side of the door, and then we'll go to the trap to determine, to determine what the what the trap is, what's on the other, but this is for what's on the other side. So on a 2, the passage, it's a 2 to 4, it's another room. This door goes right to another room. So I'm going to write this here. However, we triggered a trap. So I need to come and check out the contents here. Random dungeon generator, trap table. Oh boy. Trap table, make 4 rolls. Optional, add the crafter's wisdom nod to the notice DC. If you are rolling to see what trap type someone is caught in, roll until you get an appropriate trap type result. Okay, so make 4 rolls on a D100. A 60 gave us, ooh, shit, a magic missile spell. The notice DC. What is the notice DC? Oh, the notice DC was a 14 for this trap then. Well, no, I guess that chart gave us the notice already, so we never noticed it. Now the save DC. We didn't notice it. We didn't get a chance to disarm it. Here's the save DC. Does it hit us? Now, normally a magic missile spell just hits, doesn't it? But let's cheat the system. I'm pretty sure that that magic missile spell, it just hits you, no matter what. So, but I'm gonna play the save DC here. I'm gonna work the system a little bit, give our guys a chance, right? So on a 14, ooh, for a save DC. No, 15. We needed a 15. Add the crafters. Wait, optional. Add the crafters wisdom mod to the notice DC. No. Okay. There's nothing else to help us here, unfortunately. So that would be Summer once again. We'll declare Summer as checking out the trap. And then, so she gets hit with a magic missile. Let's see what... Okay, they both get hit. Golly gets hit with a 1. They both get hit with the magic missile spell. So the damage, up here in the damage, right, is PC level plus 1d6. So we have 1, and Summer's going to take 2 points of damage. Golly's going to take, oh my goodness, 7 points of damage. So Summer's down to 13. Golly's took, oh, I don't like this. Golly is at 3. Oh boy. I'm scared to continue on already. Gosh, what do we do? I want his hit points back up to snuff, you know? He's freaking me out. Do we just do a short rest and chance 2 D6 rolls to, you know, get his health back up? Because I'm nervous. Because we still got to go into this room, and there could be something in that room, I guess. We triggered this trap, so it's done. Ooh, what a vicious dungeon this is proving out to be. Can we heal ourselves? We could, you know, use one of our spell slots to heal ourselves before we get going. Just because I don't have any potions or nothing like that. So let's just, we're gonna use the healing word, I think, on ourselves as a bonus action before we go into this next room. Because what if we find something in there? We can still utilize the healing word if there is a combat. But we're gonna save a little bit of our health here before we get going. Maybe on the next one we do we take another short rest to what do you call it? Get our health up. I'm trying to play it very as safe as I can, because these dungeons can go from 0 to 100 pretty damn quick. Sorry, I wrote down the page on here. Being silly. I made it easier for myself just to not follow it. So 284. I was damn near there anyway. What do we get with the healing word as the bonus action? We're going to cast a spell. You can see within regains 2d4s plus the spell casting ability modifier. So we got a 3 and a 2 is 5 plus the spell casting ability modifier. So 5, we got wisdom, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so we're back up to full health. We burned up a spell slot in the process, but it is what it is. I don't trust that there's anything good on the other side of this. Okay, we triggered one trap. Let's enter through the door. Once again, Summer's leading the charge. We're going to the left, and we're going to the room contents once again. Let's see here. Contents. Random dungeon generation. We need the room table. And on a D... Oh, that's stairs. Here we go. Room. On a D20, what kind of room do we have? We rolled a 16. We have pentagonal. So I'm going to write this off to the side here. I'll write it really quick. Pentagonal, a D4. So 2 are 20 feet across by 20 feet across. Wait, what is that? Oh, just by 20 feet. So I got to draw a pentagon with 20 feet. And then how many exits does it have on a D4? D4 minus 2 exits. Okay, well, that would take us down to nothing, but minimum 1, so it does have 1 exit. 1 exit. So give me a moment. I'm going to come back to our room here, and we're going to fill this out. Here's my little half-assed pentagon here. I'm sure there's a mathematical equation for how to draw a pentagon better than what I just did. When I go clean this map up later, maybe I'll do that. But here's room number 2. So this is 1. This is number 2. Let's figure out what the heck is in this room. I don't know if you guys see it on my thing. I had to look up what a pentagon was. I was like, how many sides is that again? I know what a hexagon is. Okay, so where were we on this one? So we had the room table, and it was pentagonal. It had the one exit, which is good. We didn't have I don't think we had a door. Right? I like seeing entrances. I don't like seeing doors, because the doors usually have traps on them. Now the room contents. So we're gonna roll another D100 here and see what's inside this room. And now I'm nervous. This is the big one, right? This is where shit starts popping off. So on a 48, we've got 41 level appropriate easy encounter. Oh, another monster right off the hop. So it's a good thing we healed up, because we got another combat coming. So let's come on down here to let's try dress this dungeon a little bit. Okay, this isn't working for me. Come on, you stupid thing. Here we go. That's what I wanted. Let's see if we can dress the dungeon a little bit. Maybe it can give us some cool. Is there anything for that? Random architecture and feature table. So what's in here? Let's roll a d20 for this, and then we can kind of draw our little battle map based off of that. So we have a 6. On a 6, underground terrarium. Oh my goodness. So how's that going to look? Give me a second, gang. I will try to piece something together. And you know what? Let's roll on our... I have to write this down too. Underground terrarium. Whatever. Just do this real quick. Let's figure out our easy encounter, and then I'll try craft up another map, because we have another combat right off the hop here. So we're going to come down to the monster encounter tables, PC level 1 to 2. So if we have an easy encounter, we're 2 PCs, we're level 1, easy. We're going to go to the 1 PC level 1 medium chart. Or sorry, what did I just misread all that? We're to determine this encounter. 2 PCs level 1 easy, use this. 1 PC level 1 medium. So 1 PC level 1 medium. It's a D4 roll. A 2. On a 2 we have 1/8 monster. So we have 1/8 CR monster. Okay. Now let's figure out what the monster is, maybe. It's either that, or it's like could be another kobold. What's his challenge rating? That inventor. He was a 1/4. He's a lot stronger. Okay. Let's just roll up a new monster here. So let's come down to the urban encounter. Nope, sorry. We need the monster encounters. Creature tables by environment. Here we go. We need dungeon / Underdark. We are at an 8th. So a D12 roll. We encountered on a 9. Sorry, I should have showed you that. On a 9, we found a slad tadpole. Okay. Slad tadpole. Slad tad. We're battling the slad tad. Let's have a look at what this guy is. Let's bust out the monster manual here. Go to the old S's. Slad tadpole. There he is. 284. So we're going to page 284. And here he is, a slad. Ugh. Ugh. Sladdy. Good news is they got any kind of treasure, but their habitat's usually planar. But maybe this underground terrarium thing, that kind of fit the storyline. They'd be looking like tadpoles coming from a terrarium. Maybe it's a magic little terrarium. What's his? 7 hit points. Okay. We'll be able to mess this guy up. So, we might not even need to draft up a battle map for this. How about this? If we just get a shot off this guy, it's a done deal. So his initiative is +2. What would his initiative roll be? He gets a 10. Let's compare him to Summer. Gets a 9 plus all her benefits, right? So she's gonna get to go first, really. And I guess the argument for like how far away this guy is, right? For the encounters, like the distance and everything like that. Is he, let's just say on a 1 to 2, is he close? On a, 4 to 5 or 3 to 4, he's in the middle of the room. And on a 5 to 6, he's at the far end of the room. If he's at a 5 to 6 and he's at the far end of the room, he's going to be in the dim light. And Summer doesn't have that good vision that way, so no, he's close by. So he'll be within the light because Golly's right behind Summer when they're traveling. So she'll be able to it's a 20-foot, it's like a 20-foot space, right? So if he's close by, he's going to be within that 15 feet bright light. So let's just have her make an attack here. And if she misses, then I'll have to craft up the whole thing. So we play it through. On a 6 plus her 5 is an 11. Oh boy. So she misses him. He's got an AC of 12. Okay, I'm going to have to craft up the whole thing here, I think, right? The slad. Tad. He rolled he had an 8 plus the 2. And Summer. I thought we could like quickly roll through this fight. She had the 9 plus her 2. So I'm just gonna craft up the whole battle. I thought I could get through it. I could lazy man our way out of this, but I'll have to craft it all up. Give me a second. Okay, I'm back. So they went through here. It opens up into an underground terrarium, it stated. So we're kind of, I don't know if it's coming across on here. Maybe I should put a little bit of shading in this little area here just to kind of show like maybe this doorway, this path has been kind of broken off or something, and it's dropping down a little bit into a not really a built area anymore. And this is like the path, the door, I just modified it a little bit. I made the door a bit bigger, and then they come through, and then here's this kind of underground terrarium. Here's that, the one exit we had. So it's going to branch off more into some underground stuff. I'm just going to say that it continues going underground because the whole dungeon has like, oh, my page is gone, has like 10 rooms. We're going to say when we started with each of these, this counts as one room. We're going to say there's 3 rooms off to this side, 3 rooms off to this side, 3 rooms off to this side. So we just kind of keep exploring till we hit the 3rd room. Then we have to backtrack, come here till it hits the 3rd room. Or maybe we make them connect, right? In such a way that they all, like, we got to make these doors and stuff make sense. But regardless, here's the underground terrarium area. We're going to throw our little slad tadpole guy. I don't really have anything for that. So we're just going to go ahead and use the same old little, imagine he's a tadpole-y guy, right? And we had rolled that he was close by. So roughly, he might be up in here. He might be right nearby, and Summer had showed up here and just kind of rushed him. So that would have been within the, the 15 feet of light. She can kind of smoke this guy. But the way we rolled, right? So we had Summer attacking before the tadpole. We just got to see first, I guess. I was trying to lazy man way out of it and not have to draw anything. But now here we are. Yeah, here's the rocks. Here's the cave walls. This is going to be a bit of water. This could be some difficult terrain, maybe. I don't know. Or movement slows down, I believe, is what the rule is for water. You can only move like half speed or something when you're in water here. It's not going to be like super deep water. They're not like swimming. They're just kind of wading through it, I think, is what this will be. So their movement will be kind of labored in here. Let's finish rolling for the initiatives here. Let's get this battle underway. So on a 7, this was for Golly. Golly's got a -1 to initiative, so he's got a 6. Let's see, Sturges we're gonna roll them in tandem again. So, Moss and Keto, they just always go kind of back to back, I think, or maybe we roll them separate. Hey, let's say they got a +3 to their initiative. So Moss got a 20, Keto, he's got a 15. So really, we let Summer go and try to get a shot off, but it didn't pan out. In terms of this initiative order, we're going to say that these 2 Sturges now are going to fly up the middle, and let's see if they take out another one. These guys might be our MVPs in the battles to come here. So let's try to find our Sturge page again. Here we go. So Moss and Keto, they get a +5 to the attack roll, and we're going to see what they're capable of. So it'll be Moss, Keto, and then the tadpole. He's going to go. So hopefully our little Sturge buddies can get some shots off. So on an 11 +5, he gets his shot off here. That's a 6. 16. The AC is 12. And let's just see. Here, I better load up my guys here. So they're going to come up the way we had. Summer had like kind of rushed up in here. She's a little bit on the ledge of dry land still, so we won't impose disadvantages to stuff. Here's our guys. So Moss had first go. Moss is like gonna call, he's within range here, or he's back here, I believe, still. So Moss can kind of fly 5, 10, 15. Maybe he goes 20. And maybe he comes up to make some room for his buddy there. And his shot is... Oh, let's bring his page up. How much damage is he going to do to this little tadpole fella? So he does a 1d6 +3 piercing damage, and then they stay attached. So 1d6 piercing damage. Does he have any resistance to anything? Acid, cold, fire, lightning, thunder. Okay. So he's just going to take the damage. Perfect. The Sturge does... Let's see. I already forgot. Sorry, guy. 6. Oh my. 6 +3 piercing damage. So 9 damage. And just like that, we're done with this tadpole. I already lost my page on him. 284. Was that what I said? Yeah. So yeah, he just smoked him. Once again, our Sturge buddies are... They're our ace in the hole down here. So there's the battle done. We get another 25 experience points split between the two. Even though Golly and them, they didn't really get involved too much. And realistically, according to these rolls, Summer never really got a shot off. we could say it's just all the moss and keto. And now there is a way to like give them experience points to help them level up beside you, but I don't have those rule books, and we're just gonna, eventually our buddies might just take off once they decide they've had enough of us. But for right now, they've been really helping us out down here. So we're gonna scratch everything off over here, and I need to track experience points for, where's Summer? Experience points. So I've just been kind of like rounding up and down willy-nilly. So 25 experience points divided by 2, right? So roughly 12 a piece. So they each get 12. Really, they should get less. They didn't really do anything in that. This is where you need like a bigger desk. I keep misplacing all my pencils and stuff like that. Unless it fell off. It did fall off the table. Look at that. Okay, here we go. Let's add some more experience points to the gang. So we'll give him 82. 82 for Golly. 82 for Summer. Do they have some treasure? The slad tadpole. We're always going to roll on these treasure charts, right? We're putting ourselves at risk. We don't want to come out of here with nothing. And I'll always roll the Dungeon Masters one. I think that'll help us just rack up some coin a lot faster so we can buy some cool ass stuff. Treasure, any. Awesome. And we're just going to do the individual treasure chart on here in the Dungeon Masters guide. Dungeon Masters Guide. Let's see here. It'd be under Adventure Rewards, page 120. 120. Oh, what am I doing? Sorry you guys have to suffer through this a little bit, but you know, that's the name of the game. Individual treasure. 3d6 gold pieces. That's a lot of scratch for a slad tadpole. Do we want him to have... He's like a little tadpole guy. He's just messing around in the water, right? What are the chances that he's gonna have some stuff, you know? This is one where I'm gonna fudge it. If it were like a bandit or something, you'd be like, okay, you got some gold in your pocket. But a slad tadpole, I don't know. So let's just roll on the Dungeon Master's Guide. For their loot tables, sometimes you get a little less. And this creature was an 8th, right? So let's roll a d6. On a 2, 3d6 copper pieces, right? So there we go. We might find some copper. I doubt that slad tadpole had a shit ton of gold on him. So let's roll 3d6. 2, 6, and 5. It's going to take us to 11 copper pieces. Let's put that in Golly's pocket. He doesn't feel bad about looting that. So let's come on down to copper. 11 copper pieces. There we go. Room 2 is cleared. There's our underground terrarium. Now, we can continue on up to this entrance here. This room has been cleared, so we are going to do that. It's going to be roughly, let's count them out, right? So 5, 10, 15, 20, maybe 25, 30, 35, roughly 35 feet of travel. I am doing this to keep track of our time. 35 feet, because we have to track that for the lamp, as well as when we came back in. So we won't count the 10 minutes it took to research the room again. All right, my rule is every time we find a room, it takes 10 minutes off to kind of explore and take in your surroundings. So because we found this room, I have to add 10 minutes, but as well as I have to add, when we came back in, we went maybe 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30 to get to the next room, plus that extra 35 feet takes us to 65 feet of movement. Oops, I broke my thing there. And every 200 feet, we burn a little bit of oil. Here is what my rule was. Let's have a look at the dungeon rule again. Where did I write that down? I have a few rules for timekeeping in this dungeon. Here it is. Here it is. Give me a second. Give me a second. Dungeon rules. So every 200 feet of movement in passages, backtracking, all that equals 1 minute. Every room we take takes 10 minutes. So I'm going to have to track all of this because our lamp gives us 6 hours of light, and also the time every 30 minutes we have to do a wandering monster check. And because we found this room, we ticked off 10 minutes. So that brings us a little closer to a wandering monster check. Now, let's get back to exploring the dungeon. We are 2 rooms cleared of 10. We are getting there, gang. Okay, so we're up to here. We're exploring. Now, it just said it was an open entrance, so I got to come back to the starting area. Open entrance. What is beyond? Roll a d4. Where does this lead? Ooh, hopefully you've seen that. That was a 3. So on a 1 to 2, it's a passage. On a 3 to 4, it's another room. Look at that. We're just plowing through the rooms, which is nice. We're going to not mess around too much, and this might make the dungeon look pretty cool. Let's come on down to the room table, and hopefully there's nothing scary in there, but we got our sturges, right? They kind of help us out here. D20. So I'm rolling a D20 for the room. We got tipped it over, an 8. A square of, I need my D8. 4 by, so it's 4 plus 1. 5 times 10 feet, so 50 feet on all sides. I'm just going to write that down again. 50 feet on all sides. 50 feet square with 1d8 exits. Holy smokes. 6 exits. Okay, 6 exits. And yeah. And that's going to add us another room. 1 room. Just trying to do rough timekeeping, which is going to give us another 10 minutes to the but that doesn't, we don't count that 10 minutes from when we first rolled in, so really we're at 20 minutes. So we're getting close, right? Another room, and we got to do a wandering monster check as well as what's in the room. We could potentially be doubling up on a combat, which would be scary, but for now I need to determine what the exits are and stuff like that. Or the room contents table. What's in the room? Let's find out. Please give us something nice. We're running into all kinds of things in this dungeon. Oh, and look at that. Me misplaced my 10 again. Here we go. Room contents table. It's going to be 40. Oh, I think. Okay, a previously triggered trap is in this room with a level appropriate hard encounter enemy caught in it / victim to it. Enemy alive, 30%. So on a 30 and under, that guy's alive. Oh boy, he's still alive. So we have a hard encounter enemy in it. Is there loot? On a 99, I needed a 10 and under, so there's no loot, unfortunately, but we do have another hard encounter with an enemy, but he was previously damaged. from that trap. And what was that trap again? It was the magic missile trap, which did the 1d6. So let's see what damage he has on him. Just to, we need all the help we can get. Trap table. And it was the magic missile spell. The damage was a 1d6 plus 1. Or his level. PC level plus 1. Oh, that's... How do you do this? Did I roll the damage wrong the first time? It says PC level plus 1 and then d6? So what, did I have to roll that many d6s on like the trap? Would that have just like smoked us? That maybe, or no, because we only had one. We're PC level 1 plus 1. So we had to roll 2 d6s before on the traps. I think that's what this means. If you guys let me know. Yeah, I think we rolled our damage wrong on the other one. But let's keep on trucking, I guess. So this guy's going to have, I don't know what his level's going to be. So whatever, it's just going to be the 1d6 damage he took, which is the same as what we got. So he took 4. He took 4 points of damage. He's just going to have 4 damage on him to begin. Plus 4 damage. And let's find out what the hard encounter is. Let's find out who is in here. Going forward, I think that's how that's going to be. That's how many d6s we should have rolled, right? And then as you come up, these get pretty aggressive in terms of traps. So really we should have rolled an extra d6 for our damage. And but we'll keep it level. This guy, he's going to take kind of the same damage we had. Let's come to our monsters here. What do the monsters do? Solo monsters. Oh yeah, generating a big bad evil. Oh no, it was a hard encounter. We need to come up with a hard encounter. I need my encounter tables here. So for the 2 PCs at a level 1 hard encounter, we're going to use the 1 PC level 2 hard encounter. So 1 PC level 2 hard encounter is a d6. We rolled a 4. It's going to be 1 CR quarter and 1 CR 1/8. Kind of the same battle we almost had the last time, but we're going to determine what the nope, get out of here. What am I doing? Messing up my tablet there. Okay, we're going to find out what the monsters are. Underdark, our 1/4 or 1/8 monster is going to be 1/8 monster is going to be a 1 for a d12. A boggle. I don't have Volos. I'll have to look up his stat block. Boggle. And then the 1/4. The bigger guy is going to be on a 1. Volos again. A deep Wrath. Okay, I have to look up both of these stat blocks. I need to buy these books. A Boggle and a Deep Wrath. Who got hit by the trap? Who's got 4 points of damage on him? On evens, it's going to be the Wrath. That Wrath has some +4 damage. Okay, and just give me a second, gang. I'm gonna... I gotta whip this up. Maybe let's see here. What would it have been to give it the architecture feature? Because I like the idea of keeping this underground terrarium thing going on. That would explain the Deep Wrath, right? Or Wrath. I don't know how you pronounce that. On a 5, a hole in the floor. So this kind of drops down. to a hole in the floor. So maybe we make this like almost like a little waterfall area. Maybe there's like an underground stream coming underneath this area and flowing down. And then if you go down, it's we'll discover what's in there, right? I'm gonna have to do some more drawing, and I'll come back with it. Okay, so here's the little battle map of the little trickling brook here. Hold on, okay, so I just relocated upstairs. So this little thing we've decided is like a stream, goes to room 3 through here, and this drops down another level, and it's like a little waterfall-y area. Kind of makes a stream that trickles off, and it starts becoming like the Underdark, access to the Underdark, which would explain the, you know, the infinite and the infinite burrows. Maybe this is just a way to get to the Underdark, which is pretty cool. Leave some exploration open for us, but this is kind of the room that they're going to be into, but they have to drop down off this waterfall. I have to place our 2 little guys here, and I'm just looking them up here, and we're going to plan a little encounter. And that's all I have time for today, but on the next one we'll place the guys, we'll line up some things, and we'll get everything all figured out for the next encounter.